Welcome to part 2 of the Cody's MMA Uncensored. Now, this Saturday, July 30th, will be Strikeforce and MMA Global, the biggest homos on the planet, Fedor versus Henderson. Alright. Now, I'm only going to talk about 2 fights, that are worthy. Maybe mention a couple. We'll see. But, alright, Fedor Emelianenko versus Strikeforce's light heavyweight champion, Dan Henderson. Okay. Let's be real here. The point of this fight is to get Fedor back on the winning track. Give him a big name guy, someone everyone knows, and then have Fedor just humiliate him. That is what M1 Global, that is what Strikeforce, that is what everyone is thinking. They just want Fedor to beat the crap out of somebody like he did Brett Rogers, like he did Andre Arlovski, like he did this guy and that guy, and the 40 million guys before that. So, that's all they want. They don't want, there is going to be no title repercussions or any let's get back on top of the ladder sort of thing. This is just a fight to make money, to get Fedor up and running again, like they say about robots. My jokes suck today. I'm sorry. I mean, I usually can just flow them off the tongue, but I just got nothing. I'm just saying. I mean, God. But anyway, sorry about that. So, this is what I think will happen in a fight. Dan Henderson has fought a heavyweight before, and he lost against Rodrigo Nogueira. I believe he was submitted. Yeah, he was submitted. Yeah, now it's coming back to me. He was submitted. So, I honestly think I could see that same thing happening in this fight. I think Fedor will somehow get it to the ground, use his weight advantage, because though he won't be taller in stature than Dan Henderson, he will be bigger, if you know what I'm saying. He'll be bigger than Dan Henderson, and he'll use that to his advantage and probably submit Dan Henderson first or second round. Who knows? Maybe it would even go to a decision. Maybe he can tire Dan Henderson out, much like Jake Shields did, and just wear on him and beat on him and win a clear-cut decision. But I see him submitting Dan Henderson. Hell, I would not be surprised to see him get a TKO over Dan Henderson, because Dan Henderson showed that his chin ain't what the same, because he got caught by Calvin Conti in their last fight. So, Fedor, I believe, probably hits a little harder. So, that will be interesting to see. I do think Emelianenko will win. I kind of went against him with Antonio Silva. I didn't think he would beat Antonio Silva. I was hoping he would. I know he said he would, but I kind of knew he wouldn't. Size is a big factor when it comes to the heavyweight division. Hell, when it comes to any division, I think George St. Pierre's size is what helped him win a lot of fights. I'm just being honest. Let's just be real. So, same thing with Matt Hughes back in the day. His size just helped him win a lot of fights. But I think Fedor Emelianenko's size, for once, will help him beat Dan Henderson, and that's how I see that fight going. And everyone's wondering, why would Dan Henderson take this fight? One, he can get a Fedor Emelianenko notch on his belt. Where Doom has one, Silva has one. He wants one too. He wants that notch. He wants a million. He's like, I'm one of the guys that beat one of the greatest fighters in the world. Yeah, I beat him. But the biggest thing is that he's probably going to make a lot of money for this fight. He was probably offered a lot of money, and he's like, sure, why not? He's main eventing against a big name. He's going to make big money. That's probably all the reason he took this fight. And, am I excited to see it? Not entirely, because I think it will be a snore fest. I say that about a lot of fights, but maybe this one will be exciting. But I don't think a lot will happen. So, yeah, but I do expect Fedor to win. Also, Marlis Conan, as we were talking about women's MMA earlier, will take on Miesha Tate. I really don't want to watch that fight, because Miesha Tate will probably beat the crap out of Conan for a couple rounds, and then Conan will find a way to get a submission, and yeah, and we'll just back to square one. And Robbie Lawler's fighting on the fight. He's fighting on the card. He's taking on Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy, a very underrated guy, but he's a very good fighter. I believe he had a chance against Ronaldo Jacare Souza. He gave him a fight, but was still defeated. And Robbie Lawler is falling down fast. He is falling down that rung of that ladder bit by bit, and I don't know what is going to happen to him. But I really don't see... I honestly think Tim Kennedy will win this fight. There, I said it. Tim Kennedy will probably beat Robbie Lawler. I don't think Robbie Lawler has what he had before. And, I hope he proves me wrong. But I just think I'm going to pick Tim Kennedy in this fight. Paul Daly returns against Tyron Woodley. That is going to be an excellent fight. But I think Paul Daly, dynamite in his hands, man. Dynamite in his hands. So, yeah, but this Saturday, Strikeforce and M1 Global, Fedor versus Henderson. I pick Fedor. I pick Tate. I'm gonna say it. I pick Tate. I pick Kennedy, and I pick Paul Daly. See if I win. See if I do good. Not that I would win anything, but yeah, go see it. All right, as I promised, the Cody's Corner. Since I haven't really found much to rant about, I'm going to dedicate it to the fans that are supporting me. And, hey, I only got 2 rematches sent to me. ain't that how much I suck? I mean, only 2 people told me the rematches. Only 2 people told me that. But those are the rematches I'm going to talk about. Okay, so the Cody's Corner presents fans rematches. That's the best title I can come up with that. I'm sorry. That's all I got. That's all I got. It's all I got, fucker. What the fuck? I don't care. It's all I got, man. I can't come up with everything all the time. I ain't that smart. I didn't graduate college. I didn't even go to college. See, I'm even that dumb to think I wanted to college. See what I mean? See, okay, I'm done. First rematch was sent to me on YouTube by, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. If you want to tell me how to pronounce it, go ahead. All right. But I'm going to give it my best shot. But he was sent to me by Emac Danico. Is that right? Emac Danico, that's his username. So he wants to see Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez. He wants to see that rematch. He didn't tell me who he would think would win, so I guess it's only going to be up to me. So he also mentioned Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin, but you only get one wish. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. Okay, no. So Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez. I'm gonna try to be unbiased in this fight because I hate Cain Velasquez but love Brock Lesnar. So, all right. In their first fight, Brock Lesnar, I believe, in my opinion, made a very, very, very harsh mistake. He underestimated Cain Velasquez, and he went straight after Cain Velasquez playing too much into his hand. If you remember, right in the beginning of the fight, Brock Lesnar started to bring it. He was throwing bombs, he was throwing knees, he got a takedown, and then he just got too wild. He got caught with a big punch, and then Cain Velasquez took it from there. Now, as it is pointed out on YouTube, as I have said it 100 times, Cain Velasquez did knock Brock Lesnar to the ground by hitting him in the back of the head. So, who knows what would happen without that punch, but whatever, shit happens. But I think Brock Lesnar got too carried away. I think he underestimated Cain Velasquez, and that is why he was beaten so easily. So, this is what I think would happen in a rematch. I think Brock Lesnar would be more patient, much like he was in his fight against Randy Couture. He will be more patient, he will wait for Cain Velasquez, and then he will make his move. He will be sure not to try to pass the guard immediately once he gets Cain Velasquez to the ground, much like he did, and that is how Cain Velasquez was able to get back up, because he tried to pass that guard too fucking quickly. So, I think Brock Lesnar will get it down. He might bore the hell out of you, but he might get him down and grind him out. And I could see Brock Lesnar easily beating Cain Velasquez in the rematch. I think Brock Lesnar is too smart to make the same mistake twice. A lot of people say, hey, Cain Velasquez won because he was better. I don't think that's why. I think Brock Lesnar made the mistake, underestimating him, got too carried away, and that's what happened. You know, I also will tell you, maybe, okay, if speaking from an unbiased opinion, maybe Brock Lesnar would lose, but he would not lose the same way he did the first time. I will guarantee you that. Maybe Cain Velasquez will lock in a submission. Maybe he's the better wrestler. Maybe he can take Brock Lesnar down and grind him out. Don't see that happening, but, you know, I will promise you on, you know, 1,000 million times, he would not beat Brock Lesnar the same way he did before. So, but I would pick Brock Lesnar in that fight. Like I said, I think Brock Lesnar would be patient, get him to the ground, and grind him out in a unanimous decision. And if it wasn't for Mr. Dos Santos, who I think is the next Fedor Emelianenko, I think he's a bad mojo. So, yeah. But, will we ever see that fight again? It is possible, but Brock Lesnar has to get healthy. He has to fight someone again. He has to win at least one other time to get a rematch. Likely, I can easily see Brock Lesnar fighting Shane Carwin again. I can easily see him fighting Roy Nelson. But, I can even see a trilogy fight between him and Frank Mir. But, I hope Brock Lesnar gets healthy soon. I agree with Emac Danico. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I would love to see that fight again because I guarantee Brock Lesnar would not make the same mistake. Would he win? I think he would. So, yeah. And our second rematch was brought to me by the Twitter from a Mr. Chris Catlin. Am I saying that right? If I'm not, I'm sorry. So, we'll just say Chris. Okay. I said your last name so you know who you are. So, Chris wants to see John Fitch versus BJ Penn rematch. Now, here's where we disagree. Mr. Chris believes that John Fitch should have got the nod in the first fight. That is where I disagree because I think John Fitch only won one round. BJ Penn won two. But John Fitch won enough of the third round to make it a draw. That's why I have never complained about that draw like most people have. I think it was a justified draw, but like I said, it was much like the Tito Ortiz-Rashad Evans situation, except without the fence grabbing. You know, BJ Penn deserved a 10-8 round in that third round because he didn't do anything. And John Fitch pounded on him for most of the round. So, alright, so let's talk about what would happen in this fight. Again, unbiased, John Fitch would be ready for the wrestling ability of BJ Penn. And I think he will stuff the takedowns a lot easier to make it his battle on the ground where he's on top, or he'll make it a striking match. Don't think he'll strike with BJ Penn. That is where BJ Penn is most dangerous. So I honestly would see John Fitch winning a rematch. I think John Fitch will be ready for the wrestling ability. BJ Penn might try to implement the same strategy, but I don't think that same strategy will work a second time. John Fitch will probably take BJ Penn down time after time and time again and grind him out. Don't see BJ Penn locking in submission. You know, he's too small in stature. Plus, Fitch has very, very good submission defense. So, I don't know. You know, I would love to see BJ Penn win because, again, not a big fan of John Fitch, but I can easily see John Fitch wrestling BJ Penn, taking him down over and over again, and winning the rematch. BJ Penn has that one-shot wonder with, you know, he has lightning fast hands, great power, but I think it would take more than one punch to stop Fitch, and I don't think BJ Penn would be able to finish him. So I hate to say it, but Fitch would probably win a rematch. And but conversely, what would BJ Penn have to do to win the rematch? Okay, BJ Penn will have to do what he did in the last fight. He just has to hope it will work this time. Work again. Because it worked last time. He just has to hope it works a second time. That is his only hope. And yeah. So I hope I'm wrong, but John Fitch, yeah, John Fitch would probably win the rematch. Sorry for that interruption. See, this person was banging on my door, and so so I had to go open it. So that's why you heard the banging. But that will do it for the Cody's MMA Uncensored. I'm Cody. This is Kirsty. Wave, Kirsty. Wave. Say hi, guys. How's it going? And enjoy the show. Be sure to watch everything but UFC 138 because it's gonna suck. I love my baby, but she has bad timing, like most people, and she's giving me the finger. So I love you. Love y'all. Peace.